Thank you everybody for coming out tonight. This is the Community Initiatives Program. It's the public input evening. The groups that have submitted applications to the Village of Valemount that will make a presentation of their projects. You will be asked to evaluate the projects, and later on I'll tell you exactly how that's going to work. For some of you who probably have never heard about the Columbia Basin Trust Community Initiatives Program, there's only one thing that I can say. It's one of the best funding programs that we have and that we have ever had in our area. It's so great because it's, in a way, very accessible. The application process is quite easy, also for very small groups and organizations, and it really helps sometimes the smallest organization to get the $1,500, $2,000 that they need to complete a project. And then, of course, as you well know, in the past we have also been able to fund larger projects. I'm not going through a whole list, but we all know it was really great to get that sometimes third funding agency. Let me give you some general info for tonight and some dates right away. Next week, Monday, March 14th, the Education Committee will meet and review one more time the applications and also consider the public input. Then on March 22nd, the committee will submit recommendations to the council, and then council can still review and receive those recommendations. The projects, once they have been received and by council, the different organizations and groups will be advised again by the village office. The projects need to be completed by December 30th of 2016. Every community group organization has to submit a final report by the end of January of 2017. If there are some issues, of course, if you need an extension, you would always talk to the village office, and then they would let you know if an extension is, if it's an option or not. The Columbia Basin Trust, it works in a way that they have that community initiative program money set aside, and then it's the different regional districts or municipalities that deliver the program locally. So in our case, it's the Village of Valemount that is responsible for delivering the program. This year we have an amount of $260,000 approximately that we have received. And this amount, we will be receiving the same amount also for the next 4 years until 2020. So that's really great for the next few years. If any group is looking for some special projects, wow, this is a great time for trying to accomplish and to complete some projects. Tonight, your input will weigh 30% of the total evaluation process. And you have received one of these sheets here, and the sheets, they have the list of the groups that will be presenting the projects, the title of the projects. The order this year was chosen according to the amount, so the ones who go first are the ones with the lowest amount, down to the ones that are asking the most amount. The scoring, I know it's always a little bit confusing. We had different systems in the past and we tried many different things. It does not always work. Sometimes it works better than other times. Also this year we go by, if you really like a project and think it's, it gets all your support, that would be 10, it's the highest score, and 1 is the lowest. What is really important for you to understand, you do not make a list of priority. You don't say this is my first one, second, third, and fourth. You just kind of say, this project for me has a value of 5, and you can even have 3, 4, 5 projects that you give the same value. So you don't have to differentiate between the projects by putting them in a list or in an order according to a certain priority. And all what you have to do is you really think, you evaluate. You could even give to every project 10. I mean, that's also acceptable. Now, big innovation this year for the presenter. It's really important. We've got the Toastmasters here. Thank you for Loretta and Yolanda. They will be managing the time. This year, the adjudication committee and also council decided that time is very important. So first thing you will have for the presentation, 2 minutes for your presentation. You will see the green light going. Then for the last minute, you will get the yellow light as a signal, so getting close to the end of your presentation. And then after the last minute, you will get the red light, and that means you have to stop. This year, some may like it, some may dislike it. If you keep on going after the red light, you will be disqualified. So, Curtis, where are you? Hey! Thank you. So be very careful. When you see the red light, you have to stop, okay? It's not a personal thing, but I think we'll let you know. We'll really make sure that you stop, okay? Now, the question period, when Yolanda and Loretta came in, we also tried to figure out how is it going to work, and it works in the same way. We will measure the time after the question, and it's the respondent that has to make sure that he will give an answer within 2 minutes, and again, first minute, green light, and then again, the second minute or last minute, the yellow light, and then when it's the red, Curtis, you will have to stop. So I would like to thank again Yolanda and Loretta. They will be doing the time measuring. And I will call out right away the first group, the Valmont Lions Club. And if you can make a presentation, I will help you here with the microphone. Make sure that we get it. And tonight, somebody told me we'll be done in half an hour. I don't know about that, but let's see.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Barb Shepherd, and I am presenting on behalf of the Valmont Lions Club. As you may know, we undertook a multi-year phased renovation of the Lions Hall. What you may not know or remember from our first grant application 4 short years ago was that when we commenced renovations, our foundational premise was not to only upgrade the hall, but to make it energy efficient and lower our energy consumption costs. With the assistance of numerous granting streams, we have progressed swiftly and are now at the stage a couple of years ahead of time where we can commence our conversion to solar energy, and the first step in this phase is to apply for a small community initiative grant to create an electrical and battery storage room. Solar energy conversion will not only keep operational costs lower, thus hall rental fees affordable, it will at the final phase provide additional income for the club. Income which will be used in community projects and program funding for other nonprofit groups and organizations. Also, in the event of an extended power outage, the hall can be used as an emergency center. Alternative sources of power and energy production are our future. We all need to reduce our carbon footprint on a broad scale, and what we want to do is a small step, but it is a start. We can make a difference. Thank you for your continued support, and are there any questions?
Oh, hold on. Yes, Donnie will pass the microphone. It's important for VCTV, so please use the microphone so that when Gord is going to work on that, it gets good audio.
Yeah, when you say it's going to be a source of income, does that mean that you're hooked up to the grid and sell your extra power?
We hope to become IPPS, independent power producer.
Okay.
That's one of our goals.
Yep. Okay, yeah, thanks.
Anybody else? Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Valemount Community Sports Day Association, the next presentation, Community and Children's Festival Initiative. And I think there's a PowerPoint presentation.
Okay. Right, you can go to the next one.
Next slide.
Okay. After the success of Valemount Days 2014, with the 3-day event, 2015 was officially canceled. So organizations didn't want to see the town let down, so they came together and put together an unofficial Valemount Days. There were more ball teams at that event than in 2014, and the Saturday night dance was also well attended. The seniors held a bingo, the Lions Club ran the concession, and Three Ranges Brewery managed the beer gardens. Next slide. Okay. So in the fall of 2015, the organizations and groups that participated in the unofficial Valemount Days came together to officially sit on the board so that they could ensure there would be an official Valemount Days 2016. This year's event will feature the much-loved Kids Zone, live music during the Saturday afternoon, and at the Saturday night's dance, should we receive this grant. 2016 Valemount Days will build a foundation for celebrating Canada's 150 years during Valemount Days 2017. Next slide. Oh, it's ahead of me. So it's just a few pictures of the toys that we bring in for the kids. And then the Saturday afternoon music, we're hoping to have pay our local talent so they can be there and receive funds for playing. And the Saturday night show and dance. So we're hoping that to have more than just a dance, to have a show there as well. So thank you for your support, and we look forward to seeing you at Valemount Days 2016. Any questions?
Oh, okay. Okay, next one, Riette will make a presentation for the Valemount Learning Society, the V-Crew Youth Center. Sorry, I forgot about this one here.
As part of the CBT youth program, Valemount Youth expressed a desire to have their own space. Last year, we received funding from CBT to start up a youth center, and the Valemount V-Crew Youth Center opened its doors in June. Next slide, please. We've had over 1,500 visits, mostly from local youth, but also a few from out of town. Next slide, please. The center is furnished, thanks to donations from the community. Next slide. Darren Sparks, our program coordinator, is always at the center when it's open, so the kids are always supervised. Next slide. There's lots for kids to do, including air hockey, foosball, ping pong, and billiards. Next slide. There's a drum kit and guitars for the kids to play, whether they're beginners or advanced, and Darren is a professional drummer, so he's able to give them guidance if they need it. Next slide. Besides the games and the music, kids come to the center just to hang out and meet their friends after school. There's actually been some movie nights as well at the center organized by youth. Next slide. We're asking $12,988 to help with rent and utilities. This is the second phase of our pilot project. We've also secured some additional funding to help with just some utilities. Next slide. We're hoping to receive ongoing funding for rent through the Columbia Basin Trust Youth Network, but it has not yet been confirmed. Next slide. Thank you. Any questions? Yes, Wendy.
I saw the point up there, but you didn't say it. What will happen if you get approved for funding in August and we approve funding here?
We will obviously, well, maybe it's not that obvious to everybody, but we would be returning any unused funds to CBT. So the sort of best case scenario, if we receive the ongoing funding through this other program, we'll only need it from April till August. Worst case scenario, if we don't, we'll need it for a full year and we'll continue looking for ongoing funds after that. Any other questions? Yes, Joe.
What will happen if you close this down, or if you don't get?
Need the microphone. Sorry, I can't answer.
And time is not running yet. Time is not running yet. Time is not running.
I don't want to get kicked out.
Sorry about that. No, because otherwise they cannot hear you. Right, VCTV.
Yes, I was just wondering what would happen if you don't get the funding and this is closed down?
Then we'll probably have a garage sale to sell all that lovely equipment, and the kids won't have a youth center to go to anymore.
So it will impact the kids?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
More of a comment. My apologies. Kids are probably going to show up at 7 because I told them the wrong time. Could you repeat that into the mic?
So my wonderful husband and the high school principal announced to all the kids this morning that if they want to see their youth center stay open, they need to come and support this meeting tonight. And he told them 7 o'clock. So he apologizes for that. However, we do have Morgan Tinsley here, who is a regular at the youth center because his mom works with me. So I made sure that he got the right information. Any other questions? I'm sure I'm running out of time. Okay. Thank you very much.
I guess Pete Person is presenting for the Royal Canadian Legion, Branch 266, upgrades to the Legion Hall.
Good evening, everybody. As Sylvia said, my name is Pete Pearson. I'm the current president of the Branch 266 of the Royal Canadian Legion. So this is as well an ongoing process of upgrades and renovations with the Legion. Building was originally built in 1964, and it's definitely time to update. Nationally, the Legion is in a process of a new strategy gearing towards a newer crowd of Legionnaires and guests. And part of that is to streamline the facility, make it more modern and more inviting for members and guests. So also being family friendly, we need the place to be more accessible. So this year we're looking for approximately $25,000 to do a full bathroom renovation from the floor up, all new flooring, fixtures, counters, geared towards accessibility, wheelchair accessible, mobility accessible for fixtures, all the stalls, new paint, ventilation, and just towards making our building a little more modern. We're actively becoming a venue for music in the community with Friday Night Live music. So we're attracting some new members and new guests, and we just want the building to be a little friendlier and brighter place. So we thank CBT for their ongoing support over the last few years with our renovations, and hopefully we can carry on. Thanks. You're so close.
Sorry, Pete. Your bathroom fixtures, will they be those that promote water conservation?
Yes, everything will be energy efficient, and so low flow toilets and the automatic mixing valves in the sink taps, so to prevent excessive hot water and stuff like that. So yes, everything will be geared towards accessibility, mobility, and energy conservation.
I'm a live music lover, and I'm just wondering on Friday nights what time the music is.
Dinner's at 5 to 7.
Yeah.
And music starts at 7 o'clock every Friday night, and we try to hit a little bit of everything as far as genre for music, from rock to country to old time.
Thank you.
But thank you for the plug.
Mark, can you stay there for
Sure.
a second? For the ones who do not know, that's Mark McNeil, and he's our new CEO of the Village of Vail.
Thank you.
No, we're not taking his time, no. Toastmasters are doing an excellent job. They stopped everything.
Any more questions? Great, thank you.
And I see you have also some of your youth here. Yes. Okay, the next one, Diane Smith. She's going to make a presentation on behalf of the Canoe Valley Community Association, Active Living Kids, year 2? Thank you. Is that the phase 2? Yeah. Okay, sorry about that.
Okay.
And we have a presentation.
Sorry. Okay. Active Living Kids, Pilot Project Phase 2, providing children's activities to the community of Valemount. Next slide. The children's benefits. Parents can afford programs for children aged 6 to 12, and the children have access to 2 summer camps, after-school programming, cross-country ski program, junior curling program, and much more. We're just introducing gardening also. These programs include safe, active, educational, and lifelong learning, cooking and nutrition, fostering self-esteem, confidence, conflict resolution, improved decision-making, and development of positive relationships between peers and adults in order to create positive participation in the community now and in the future, and the understanding of the importance of volunteerism in the community. The community benefits. Build community capacity by creating partnerships with many nonprofits and business alike. Provide affordable child activities that promote healthy and active life skills. Contribute to the community's economic base by providing well-paying job positions. Support local businesses and organizations through the purchasing or rental of tens of thousands of dollars in goods and services. According to Destination BC, the average traveler spends $179 per night, and our grant funding would represent close to 200 visits to our community. Grant monies coming into the community stay within the community. Our goals: provide parents and children with safe, affordable programming to learn and develop from lessening at-risk status. We want to acquire childcare licensing for children aged 6 to 12 only for our after-school programming. We want to introduce children to positive environments and develop activities to empower life skills and choices. Continued support and development of partnerships with local business and nonprofits, and improve social, economic, and employment opportunities within the community. Next slide. Those are some pictures from our Active Living Kids summer camps this year. Next. Happy, healthy children, creating memories. Next. And, sorry. That was made possible by the supporters of keeping children active, healthy, and safe in our community. By supporting and developing many partnerships within the Basin, we build community capacity. All monies from this project stay within the community as we purchase all supplies local and use local sources for children's activities. We've had many great partners, such... Ta-da!
Red light, sorry. Oh,
it's all good.
still a mistake.
Any questions? It's all good. Any questions? Okay.
Use the microphone. Thank you.
How long does the program run for?
So we had 2 one-week summer camps that run from 10 to 4, Monday to Friday. And then our after-school programming run from September through to December, and that was Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays till 5 o'clock. Anybody else? Oh, and then the skiing. Yeah, our skiing program then starts and continues after that. And curling. And the gardening program that we're adding now. Sorry.
Any other questions? No, then thank you.
Thank you.
Curtis Pavliuk will give a presentation on behalf of VARDA, Mountain Bike Park Development Phase 2. Thank you, Curtis.
All nervous, these mean ladies up here.
Watch the lights.
I'm watching. Go. All right, so I don't have control over this, so Dan, where we go here? So the Valemount Bike Park began with a dream from an ambitious young local here. Now this dream's becoming a reality. With support from the local community and the Yellowhead Outdoor Recreation Association, VARDA began creating the Valemount Bike Park. Guided by a trails master plan created by the International Mountain Bike Association and local members, we now have begun to create something very special for our local community, and the benefits have been very far-reaching. The intensive use and the stoke for the new trails, it's been absolutely incredible, and it's already beginning to transform our local community. The ultimate goal is to provide residents of Valemount and our visitors with a first-class mountain bike trail system, and we're well on our way. Our newest developments are the talk of the bike scene, and there's a strong hype about the potential for Valemount. Our terrain and close proximity of the trails to town core are ideal for a major attraction. Although it's not just about attracting tourists, it's also about enhancing our local lifestyle. Here's a map of what we have up there currently of the development that we've made and to date. There's also copies of these maps out in the foyer. The project's been more than about trails. It's created partnerships and new relationships with valley-wide initiatives. We can go here. Strong working partnerships between VARDA and Yora. Created a positive cooperation relationship between VARDA and the Simpcw First Nation. Valemount has become a member of the Northern BC Mountain Bike Tourism Initiative and the development strategy. And a community planning and labor market initiative led by the Simpcw First Nation, which is designed to increase local capacity for trail instruction, maintenance, management through collaboration and development of local human resources. We're now asking the community for support to build additional trails for further developing the mountain bike trail program. VARDA is applying for $50,000, which will go towards an overall project budget of close to $170,000 for further construction to the 2016 summer season. Thank you. I didn't even get a yellow light. It's a race.
Questions?
Mr. Pollock.
Is it on?
Yes.
Where's the other $120,000 coming from?
So we have a commitment right now for $28,000 from the Northern Development Initiative Trust. Regional District of Fraser Fort George also is throwing in a contribution. VARDA's thrown in a contribution. And we reduced our ask to the local community through the Community Initiatives Program as we have a large ask into the Columbia Basin Trust through their new Recreational Infrastructure Development Program.
If this $50,000 doesn't come through, do you lose any of that other funding that you've lined up?
We'll lose our chance at the $80,000 ask through the Recreation Infrastructure Program, yes. We won't have enough leverage funding.
I have a question.
Sure.
Maybe you can repeat it for the TV.
Sure.
How many outside riders came last year, just specifically because they wanted to check out the park?
How many outside riders came last year? If you were up on the Vail, we don't have the exact number. We were in the middle of building all summer, so trail counters weren't available. If you were up there on any given Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there was upwards of 30 people up there. We've had people write into the local newspapers talking about how they changed their plans traveling throughout BC to come into Valemount. We have a very good proximity here. One thing that surprised us the most was how important the Bigfoot Trail was to the development and how important it was to the people who came in outside of the community to have a corridor from our hotels, from our business district, right 2 minutes, 3 minutes away from our trail development program. It's gone a long way. We have over 30 pages of written submissions out in the lobby out there of people's stories and how the bike park has affected them, and that's locals, business owners, as well as people from outside the community. Yeah. Kiva?
It was just a comment really. We just moved in on September and we used your mountain bike trail a lot, and I saw a lot of people from Jasper who said they came specially just to go on the mountain bike trail. It was very popular. I'm
going to take my minute because that was kind of a question. All right. So we don't get, VARDA's also a snowmobile group. We're trying to get tourists coming in. So all of our visitors typically are from northern Alberta, Saskatchewan. What this bike trail system has done is open up travel in BC to Valemount. We never have people from BC coming to Valemount to winter recreate, not even often to summer recreate. We've opened up the market to Prince George, Kamloops, and even farther reaching than that. So we've opened up a new market with BC traveling within BC. And we have opportunities to become part of multiple corridors from Kamloops through over to Williams Lake through Prince George, as well as a Northern Mountain Bike BC corridor as well. Jeff?
Can you just tell us what the extent of the new trails are going to be? For us that are all excited about mountain biking?
Yeah, so the new trails, we're building a product that's marketable as well as beneficial for the locals. So we are adding an advanced downhill trail, which is a little bit more aggressive than Tinfoil Hat. It's what people are traveling for. So we are adding a bit more advanced ridership to the program as well as what's important to a lot of the locals who are getting into mountain biking is a flow trail, which is a gravity-assisted trail network that helps you develop your skills for basically a version of downhill biking. Very smooth, very flowy, and it's designed to work on your skills to develop into mountain biking, as well as a connector that's really going to tie together a lot of the trails throughout that are already up there. So instead of just riding all of Trail A, you can ride Trail A, some of B, some of C. And then what's really important to a lot of the locals is the final repair phase of the Swift Creek Trail. So if anyone's walked the Swift Creek Trail, it's in the Southern Traverse, the new Swift Creek version. It's in amazing shape right now, but we're missing one big chunk, which is very affordable to build, and that's part of our plan.
Okay, Curtis.
Hello.
How experienced do you have to be, and what kind of equipment do you need, say, for 6 to 12-year-old children?
Yeah, no problem. So we've had some new people come to town. One of the new officers, the police officers, has a young, about an 8-year-old son. He comes out and rides the trails all the time. We've had anywhere from 8-year-olds to 80-year-olds up there. They're not necessarily specifically for mountain biking. The Swift Creek Southern Traverse is an amazing hiking, running trail as well, along with all of our revisions to the Swift Creek program. And as of right now, you can just get on a bike and hit some of the cross-country, more enduro-style trails. The downhill ones, you're building your experience up, and that's where the flow trail is going to come in and why it's so important. It's going to help people grow their skills to the bigger trails. The ones that are going to attract the dollars and the economics are the more aggressive ones, yes. Yeah. But we're trying to build
There's still the yellow light.
I didn't get a yellow light, man.
I know.
So we're trying to build everything.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Daryl Pauluk, sorry. And making presentation on behalf of Valemount Public Library Association, basement and stairway renovation. Yes, is that yours? Okay.
Hi, my name is Daryl Pollock. I'm one of the directors of the Valemount Public Library Association. The public library serves a population of approximately 1,800 people. About a third of them use the library in the past year and circulated over 18,000 different items. The library building and the land, just so everyone understands, are owned by the Village of Valemount. The public library was built almost 30 years ago, and we've outgrown the existing space. The library lacks adequate space for hosting author visits, providing children and adult programming, and for users to simply sit, read, and relax in the library. In both formal and informal surveys of the library patrons, increasing the usable space in the library has always been a very high priority initiative. Back in 2014, with funding from this program, we had engineered plans created for a large expansion of the library. While we're continuing to seek funding for that expansion, at this time we are requesting $60,000 from the Community Initiatives Program to renovate the existing basement. The library will be contributing $2,500 to the project, split 50-50 between cash and in-kind contributions. There's two main parts. I got a light show going on over here. There's two main parts to the renovation: improving access to the basement and then renovating the basement area. The existing stairway into the basement will disappear, and will enclose the existing outside entrance to the basement. And that will become the access to the basement. The renovations themselves will include removing an existing interior wall, turning a janitorial closet into a washroom, and creating an enclosed meeting room. So these changes will open up the space, make it much more functional and inviting. The basement renovations were part of the expansion plans for the library, and we're using the previously created engineered plans for the project. The village building inspector has visited the library, reviewed the building plans for the renovations and does not have any concerns. We have obtained 2 quotes from local contractors for the work. Partners in the project include the village of Valemount, whose staff has provided assistance and input with the planning process. The basement renovations will benefit all members of the community by providing adequate space for our collection materials, programming, public internet access, studying, and reading. If the project is not supported, the library will continue to be unable to properly provide important services to the community. Thanks for your consideration of our application. Any questions? Go for it, Andreas.
I've never been in the basement of the library, but how big is the space and what's the condition of it now?
The space, Wendy, square foot? 1,600 square feet in the basement. The main issue with the basement space is the stairway down to it is very steep. There's anyone with any mobility issues won't be able to use those stairs. When we enclose the stairs that are currently outdoors, although we won't be doing it at this stage, it will be a place where we will be able to install a wheelchair lift eventually. The space in the basement right now is split right down the middle by a dividing wall. We're going to remove that wall and open it up. There'll be a small meeting room created down there for people who study or want to do some Skyping where they can do it in a closed area, basically. We hope to make it a comfortable place for people to use. Like I said, we're struggling for space upstairs. It's quite a jam-packed little library that we have here. Yes, Pete?
Daryl, quick question. So this enhancement to the rear entrance will be compatible with your future renovation plans and expansion?
Yeah, for sure. We're following the plans that were drawn up for the full expansion. We're just sort of implementing. Thought it was me. Either that or the Martians were landing. So, yeah, this was part of the original plans. So we're just kind of hopefully going to undertake this small portion of the plans and make the available space in the library much more usable. Anything else from anybody else? Great, thanks again.
Okay, thank you to all the presenters. Now there's only one more thing for you to do. Fill out the forms here. Score each project. Remember, 10 is the highest that when you really strongly support a project, 1 is the lowest. Of course, you can also use the same numbers for more projects. And once you're done, Donnie McLean will be collecting the forms at the exit on your my left side, your right side. Okay, there's one more question here. Please go ahead, Catherine.
Sylvia, when you introduced this, you said something about there being 260,000.
Yes.
So
this year we are undersubscribed.
Yeah.
We are looking for roughly, I think it was $190,000.
Yeah, 189. But you have the total funds available is 304,000.
Yes, there's a carryover from the previous year.
Okay.
And also this year, if we do not spend the full amount, whatever is not spent, we're allowed to carry it over for the next year. And that's also a great thing about the Columbia Basin Trust Community Initiatives Program, that we can carry over the amounts always within a period of 5 years. And we just kind of started a new contract from 2016 to 2020.
Okay.
So we are okay. So that means if it's not spent this year, we can use it for other projects next year.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, thank you again. Thank you to all the participants. Thank you to all the organizations. Especially thank you to the ladies of Toastmasters. Have a good evening, everybody. And the adjudication committee, of course, sorry. I didn't want to put them in a difficult situation, but we've got also many members here of the Adjudication Committee, and I do not make you stand up. So that's great. Okay, thank you again.